Hello, my girls, and welcome to the class. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Miss.
Hi. Hi, Galia. How are you? Did you fix your mic, sweetie? Galia? Okay, I think you still have the problem, huh? Galia, can you speak? Hello? Hi. Can you hear me? Okay, should I start? Okay, I will start. Our lesson of today is about vocabulary. You still have a problem with the mic or you don't want to talk? So our lesson of today is about vocabulary, and this is the second part of the vocabulary. We said in the last time that we have these new words that we will have in our passage. These words related to what? Related to slavery and related to the American history for the Black people. One word of these is bondage. What does it mean, bondage, my girls?
Like a battle or
Yes? Bondage, it means a person who is inside in slavery
or
and
against.
doing things against his will. Commissioned, what does it mean, commissioned? Commissioned is a rank in the army, it's above lieutenant. And then we have earthen. Earthen, it means from its word,
Like made
it
up
comes
of
from the
oil.
word earth, which means that it comes from the earth. And then we have encounter. Encounter, it means to meet somebody. Sometimes this can mean as unfriendly meeting, which is like war or meeting an enemy. Or it can be encounter. We have another meaning in encounter, which means to meet somebody by coincidence. That you are walking one day, for example, and suddenly you saw him. So this is, we call it also encounter. So encounter has two meanings. Maybe encountering an enemy, or maybe encounter somebody by coincidence. Then we have the other word, which is homesteaders. Homesteaders, it means what? It means the people who is living in a land by the government. The government is protecting them and the government give them a land to stay in it. And then we have settlement. Settlement, which means what? The community that the people create when they want to make a city or a village or something. We call all the people who settle in there, we call it settlement, is the same meaning of community. These are the words in our passage of today. But before that, let's go for page 275 to have the exercise in there together. We have a little passage that we are going to read it, and then there's some questions on it. Your job is to answer these questions from the passage, okay? So go ahead and open your books in the reader's writer's notebook. Hi, Galia. Can you participate with me today by talking or only by chatting?
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay, it's nice to hear your voice. Hi, how are you? I'm so happy to hear you. Are you good?
Me too. Yes.
That's cool. Okay, let's start. I want you to open the page 275. This is the passage in case you didn't see it. So I'm going to read this passage. And while I'm reading, if you have any word that you are not familiar with it, what we are doing for that technique to understand the meaning of that word, who can remind me? If I'm reading something and I'm not familiar with that word, I don't know the meaning, and I don't have dictionary, what should I do? How, Atin?
You have to read the sentence and then you have to understand the sentence to know the word.
Excellent. So I have to read the sentence before it and the sentence after it, so I can understand the near meaning of that word. Then I can figure out from the context inside the passage. Okay, read the following passage, then answer the questions below. I'm going to read, focus with me, and then try to answer the questions with me. I'm going to mute you a little bit until I finish, okay? Today, I found out more about my family's history. I thought we had always lived in Kansas, but that wasn't the case. My ancestors were enslaved people in Alabama. When they were no longer held in bondage by white plantation owners, they decided to move as far away from the South as they could. They become homesteaders, moving to the open lands of the West that they bought from the government. My ancestors joined other African Americans who started their own settlement. Their community was a group of homes and buildings made out of earthen materials, such as sod, mud, and grass at first. I found it very strange that the towns and cities I know of today were once crude and small. I also found out that my great 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 uncle Thomas was a commissioned officer. I had no idea that my family's history was so interesting. Wow. So this person is talking about his family's history, and he's saying that he always thought that because he's living in Kansas, so his whole family came from Kansas. But this is wasn't the case, as his family and sisters they came from where they came from Alabama. Not only this, but his family and sisters, they were slaves and in bondage, which means that in slavery. They were slaved by white people for a long time. But after a while, then when they have the decision of making the black people free people, then the black people they changed their place from Alabama and came to Kansas to escape from that slavery. And in that place, they tried to settle down and make their own settlement or their own community. And then they have other African Americans who came in that place and become homesteaders. Homesteaders, it means the government give them a land to start their new community together. And then he said that those people they have the land, but they don't have the materials or the resources to start their buildings with a good way. So they started their buildings with mud, sod, grass, woods, anything that they can use just to start their buildings. And not only this, but also, yes, his family, some of his family was slaves, but some of his family members, like his uncle Thomas, was also a commissioned officer in the army, like a lieutenant. He has a big rank in the army. So even though the slaves, they were working for the white people, they're working for the white people, including also to serve in the armies for the white people, under the white people. So even though they are working the army, but however, they will give them what they will give them some army ranks like lieutenant or commissioned or general or colonel. And then he said, I had no idea that my family's history was so interesting. Actually, this person is not the only one. If you search in your family's history, if I search in my family's history, we will find interesting facts. Like no one of the families that we know right now, they have the same family and sisters living in the same place. All the people from all around the world are, in the first place, immigrants, which means that they are changing their places from one place to another. So nobody is a real owner for that land. We are only came from different places to different places, and our children and grandchildren will have the same because this is the way of the world. God created the whole world so you can travel it and you can move into it and you can discover it, not to stay in one place. So it's interesting. If you want to search in your history, you will find interesting facts like this boy. Okay, let's go ahead right now for the questions and try to answer them one by one. Who wants to do question number one? No. Watin, Malak, Galia. Who wants to try? I will start with Watin. Huh, Watin?
Okay. What is the definition of bondage?
Please,
What
raise,
context?
raise your voice, please.
Okay.
Hmm.
What is the definition of bondage? What context can clue helps you figure out its meaning?
Okay, in the passage right here, search for me for the word bondage. Where is it?
when they were no longer held in bondage by white plantation owners.
Excellent. So this is bondage. When they were no longer held in their bondage by white plantation. Okay. In this in this context, he's saying that they were held under the white people. So what does it mean bondage?
Against your will.
Excellent. So bondage, it means against their will. Okay. And what context clue from the passage can help you to figure out its meaning? Hmm. Okay, we know that bondage, it means
When,
against their will, and it's
yeah, when they
huh,
yeah they decided to move as far away from the south as they could.
excellent. And something else also, that the people who experienced bondage were enslaved. The word enslaved tell us the meaning of the bondage also from the passage itself. So we can say the clue is that people who experience bondage were enslaved. Okay, number two, Galia. Galia, number two for you. Galia, if you're talking, I can't hear you. Unmute yourself, please. Galia. Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Number
What
two for you.
context clues help you figure out the definition of homesteaders?
Homesteaders.
Setters.
Hmm. What context clue helps you to figure out the definition of homesteaders? Now search for the word homesteaders in the context. Where is it? They
They
become,
became homesteaders?
yes, they became homesteaders. Now read the whole sentence and try to figure out the meaning of it. They became,
They became homesteaders, moving to the open lands of the West that they brought from the government.
the government. So now, homesteaders means what? From the sentence, it means what, homesteaders? Moving where?
To the open lands?
Yes. So this is the definition I got from the context. That's why I understand the meaning of homesteaders. Because he said in the context, homesteaders, it means moving to the open lands of the West that they bought from the government. This is the clue I have from the context. Why is this lesson today is really important? Why? Because we will understand how to get the information from the text when somebody asks us about something we are reading. So it's not important only to read, but the most important to understand what you are reading. So maybe you can read very fast and you are a very good reader. But when it comes to comprehension and to understanding, he will ask you a few questions that you read already, but you can't answer them. Why? Because you didn't pay attention and you don't know how to extract information. So this is can help us that even if you don't understand the meaning of some of the words, you can extract the meaning from the sentence that comes after it and to get the meaning that you need. So what context clue help you figure out the definition of homesteaders? I'll write right here, this one, the whole meaning from the passage. So write capital. Okay, this is for number 2. Number 3, Malak. How do you know? Malak.
Yeah.
Number 3 for you.
How do you know settlements is unlike the towns and cities of today?
How would you know that settlement is different from the cities and the villages that we know right now? Settlement was only people who is just gathering together and try to start a life, try to establish some buildings. So how would you know that from the context? How? I found it very strange that the towns and cities, from here, try to read from here.
Okay, I found it very strange that the towns and cities I know of today were once good and small. I also found out that my great
Good and small. So was it the same cities that we know today or different?
different, still small.
They are crude and small.
Yeah.
Crude, it means they are so simple. So I will say the settlement is described as crude and small. So this is how I know that the cities that were then at that time, it was totally different from our cities. They don't have the facilities or the luxuries that we have today. Okay, Lean, are you there, Lean? Lean is not there. Watin, number 4 for you. What are
some examples of earthen material? What is another example not used in the passage?
Okay, give me from the passage, what are some of the earthen materials that he mentioned here? What and what?
Mud, and grass.
Excellent. So we have sod, mud, and grass. This is from the passage. So give me a material from your head that comes from the earth that I can use in the houses to build houses. I can use all clay, right? I can use clay. This is from the land also, or from the earth, sorry. Number 5, Ghalia. The last one for you, the sentence. Okay, I will read it and you help me with it. The sentence containing the word commission doesn't have a context clue. Rewrite the sentence so that a context clue appears. You may write it as more than one sentence. Okay, now we have the sentence that have the word commission. He didn't mention here any clue for us. What does it mean, commission? Okay, he wants you right now to rewrite the sentence so that a context clue appear. يعني try to put commission in a sentence to give me the meaning of commission. Who can do that? Commission, that means a person with a rank in the army. So put it in a sentence to show me that commission means aslan a rank in the army. Who can do that?
Miss, we put what in a sentence?
Commission, put it in a sentence to show that the meaning of it is a rank in the army. Try to put it in a sentence. Hamalag.
The commissioners were the first ones to go to the like what they call it, the war.
Okay, commissioned people were the first one to guide the army through the war because they are the leaders. This is one sentence. Give me another sentence, Watin. Can you give me another sentence? A commissioned officer was honored by the colonel as he made a big sacrifice in the army. Commissioned officer was honored to be, let me put the clue, to be the um, to be higher than the second lieutenant, because, and you complete, because of the sacrifices he did in okay, and put at the end full stop. Okay, this is the end of our lesson. Do you have any question?
No, Miss. Thank
This is how you extract the information. So we always search for clues from the context and try to answer the questions as we understand from the passage. Okay, done, my girls? Done writing?
you. Yeah, Miss. I'm done.
Then let's
Miss,
Yes? Are you done?
my mom is going to get the grammar now.
The grammar book?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I will tell Miss Wala, inshallah. If she go there, just let her ask about Miss Wala. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. Are you done, Leen, Malak, Wateen, Ghalia? Done
Yeah,
writing?
Miss.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Yalla, I will close it. See you later, inshallah. Bye bye.
See you later.
bye, Miss.